Too many people are focused on applying to as many jobs as they possibly can, and not enough are actually focused on what's important, and that's getting through the interview process. No fucking lie, lightning just striked a house behind me in my backyard. I'm not even fucking kidding. I don't know what's going on right now. It said it was 1% chance of rain and thunderstorm, and it's just raining like crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. We're going to be talking about what people aren't focusing on enough when it comes to getting a job in today's job market. Now, I understand getting a job is pretty difficult nowadays, but what's even more difficult is that people aren't focused on what's really important, and that's nailing the interview process. You have a bunch of postgraduates who are looking for a job, and they feel like because the job market is pretty saturated right now, they have no chance at getting a job, which to a certain degree, I do understand that the market is pretty saturated. I understand it's hard to get jobs to reach out to you, but you shouldn't only be focused on submitting 10 applications a day, submitting 20 applications a day, because what do you do when a job actually reaches back out to you and asks to interview you? I saw a video on YouTube, I forgot who the creator was, but he was mentioning a buddy who did over 1,000+ applications to jobs, which, yeah, that's horrible. But he ended up getting 4 or 5 interviews out of that. Now, he explained, he didn't stay on the subject for too long, but he said that he only got to do 1 round of interviews for each job, and he didn't make it very far in the interview process, which just saddens me because we need to be focusing on what he's doing during those interviews, not necessarily how many applications he submitted in order to land interviews. You can only do so much by just submitting applications and crafting a perfect resume. You have people saying that jobs won't take them because they don't have the experience, yet they get interviews. When you get an interview from a job, that means you have the experience necessary to do that certain job. They believe you have the qualities and traits to work for them. Now, sure, technically, maybe on your resume, you don't meet their standard qualifications like 2 years in this, yada, yada. But if you get scheduled for an interview, that means you have something. The whole point of a company interviewing you, in my personal opinion, is that they're looking for competence. They're looking for someone that could walk into a room and hold conversations with people they've never met before. They're looking for someone who's personable, who can speak to everybody and make friends. Because it's important, at least to companies, that someone comes in and fits into their cultural settings, someone that comes in and gets along with everybody. And this is, I feel, why the job market is the way it is right now, or at least a part of the reason, is because people will submit, again, thousands of applications, but when they get those interviews and they show up, they do so poorly. They have no effective communication skills. They don't know how to converse with people they don't know. They have bad personable skills. They're awkward, meaning they're not able to show a level of competence, which is what these companies are looking for. That's why you hear stories of, people that have been at a company and it's successful and they're like, oh, well, they accepted me and I had no experience. That's because they were very personable in the interview. I'm undergoing a process right now where I'm actually interviewing for an entry sales role, and I've made it to the 2nd round. And when you take a look at my resume and you look at the company that I applied for, you're like, no way this dude has what it takes. No way he has the experience. But the company understands that there's no really middle ground. You either have experience or you don't. So what I understood is when they accepted me for an interview after looking at my resume, they know that I have what they believe the credentials I need in order to be successful in the job. What they're looking for now is competence, and am I able to pick up skills quickly? And this is what everybody should understand too. When you land an actual interview, you have to understand that you have the experiences necessary, you have the qualities necessary to get the job. Now, all you need to do is be able to explain what's happening on your resume, explain your background clearly, explain the qualities and traits you've picked up from your experiences, tailor it to the job. I promise you, just doing the basics will have you beat 90% of applicants, 90% of people they're interviewing that position for. When you land the interview, don't worry about, oh, do I have enough experience? Worry about how are you going to explain what's happening on your resume and translate it, again, into qualities and skills needed to do well for the role. For example, if they ask, hey, give us a background on you, tell us about yourself. Most people hate that question, but I promise if you nail that down, you're off to a great start. And again, you're beating 90% of people they're interviewing for that day. I'll give you a quick example. Just a brief overview. I'm a month away from graduating from university. I believe my experiences from yada yada and even yada yada give me the qualities and traits necessary to do well for this role. And those traits are effective communication skills, relationship building skills, and business developmental skills. You don't have to create some interesting story or elaborative story for them that has a hook and that catches their attention. You just need to say what you need to say. Even when you walk in the building and you introduce yourself to the staff and to the person that's going to be interviewing you, instead of having a dialogue that goes, for example, if the interviewer asks, how's your day been? Instead of you saying good and nothing else, you go, oh, it's been really good. I woke up early in the morning, had a couple cups of coffee, I'm ready to go. That's what they're looking for. I promise you, if you're out there job hunting, don't just worry about submitting applications and having that perfect resume. You can't just focus on how many jobs you apply to and how good your resume is. You need to work on answering behavioral questions, being able to explain your background. Look up the company, see what qualities, traits, and skills are necessary for this role and that they're looking for. If you just take a step back and analyze today's generation, you're going to see that the majority of people lack people skills. The majority of people can't make small talk. The majority of people can't hold a conversation with a stranger. In today's day and age, everybody is just awkward around each other. You need to use that to your advantage because I promise you, it is not hard at all to be personable, to be outgoing, and to have a great attitude when you walk into your interviews. Just another side note, you'd be surprised how many people don't dress well when it comes to these in-person interviews. Even interviews through Microsoft Teams or through the computer. Sure, in today's day and age, companies are more lenient on dress code and yada yada, but this is for their employees. You're not even a part of the company yet, and you think it's okay to wear whatever you want, essentially. So yeah, that's my take on the struggles of the job market today. Again, I want to elaborate. I know it's super saturated right now and it is difficult to get a job, but to give you that edge to help make it a guarantee that you will get a job in the near future if you don't give up is being good in interviews, because I promise being good in interviews will eliminate 90 to 99% of the competition. So yeah, again, I don't know how long this video is going to take. I do fuck up a lot. It is storming like crazy right now, so I don't know how long this is going to be. I hope it's longer than the video I did previously. I try to make these as long as I can, but again, I fuck up a lot and I breathe heavy. Most of the time I'm editing my videos, I'm trying to cut out the breathing, all the breathing that I do because it's so annoying. But yeah, I don't know why it's storming so hard, but you guys have a safe day. Goodbye.